It's Nolan. Now, before we get started, make sure y'all hitting that like button. Make sure y'all sharing it on your respective platforms. Let somebody know what we're doing today. Now, let's get into the show.
Ain't nobody out here making real music. Don't nobody wanna put their heart into it. Ain't nobody still speaking from the soul. Don't nobody wanna see the genre grow.
Step out the cap and niggas yapping on Twitter, that shit boring. Every time a new artist presented, y'all don't support it, ignore it. I speak a language many would think is foreign. The world is facing a deficit, I ain't talking caloric. Division deeper than church and state. I keep it real, y'all gon' send me to the pearly gates. I'm here to reverse the state. Tell me how they made Charlie a messiah when there's niggas in my city that's daily facing the fire. Fuck the BC, peace to DC. Let us Chicago, we training like custom model to make a better tomorrow. These niggas don't wanna talk about it, so who we calling conscious? Show me his outline, I piss on the truck around it. Hate speech, probably never get another sync deal. Hate speech, people out in Palestine being killed. Hate speech, I got 50 names that I grew up with. Cold-blooded murder with witnesses, they ain't doing shit. Fuck them all, we gon' fucking ball. Nigga, fuck the law, new world order, what they talking, send them up to God. I got some money in my savings, we can make the bar. Them biggest reason for today, but they can't stay for long.
Ain't nobody out here making real music. Lies. Don't nobody wanna put their heart into it. Lies. Ain't nobody still speaking from the soul. Lies. Don't nobody wanna see the genre grow.
What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Hope everybody's doing well out there. If you enjoyed that intro, it's called The World is a Ghetto. It's from the album Family Over Fame. Go down to the pinned comment. You could check it out, get the album for yourself. All right, I don't want to waste a lot of time because it's a lot to get through. So y'all know we've been keeping up with all of this crazy stuff going on lately. People being brought up in paperwork, legal documents, and stuff like that. Number one, of course, No Spin TV, George, aka Grand Wizard, Chat Asian, right? We've been following that whole saga. Not to mention, just yesterday, we covered the whole situation with the Nicki Minaj stans who are backing up Demery Hadley in her situation versus Desiree Perez from Roc Nation. Of course, Desiree is the mother, Demery is the daughter. And they've been going at it for over a year and some change, 2 years, whatever. Now, although these things are slightly differentiated, there seems to be a little bit of overlap between these issues. And I think I'm kind of onto something. I don't know. I guess you could say just this is a theory video, but we're going to be looking at some paperwork to support my theory, all right? So it looks like a lot of people on social media, so-called stan pages, fan pages, or whoever these people are who are becoming synonymous with posting about hip-hop content, hip-hop related content, and putting their own bias, their slant, or whatever on it. It looks like there's a larger investigation that's going on. And of course, we're not privy to it, so we wouldn't know exactly how this is going to go. We're thinking that a couple content creators here and there are being subjected to investigations. But I just found some shit that suggests it gets way deeper. Okay? So let's look at what I was reading yesterday about the Demery Hadley Desiree Perez thing, right? Remember, all throughout that paperwork, they were making reference to Zach Williams. Zach Williams, aka Vegeta Barb, aka the Demery docket. Right? When Demery was asked about her connection to this guy, she lied under oath and said, I have no connection to him. I don't know him. I don't know who runs that page. Right? But then they revealed transcripts that show that she was literally on Spaces with him, and he admitted on Spaces that he was given clearance by Demery Hadley and her legal team to speak on things relating to their case, despite the fact that the case is being held under a court-ordered gag order where they're not supposed to talk about any of this stuff at all. Mr. Zachary Williams was also used as a witness in court despite him allegedly having no connection to Demery Hadley. What would you be a witness to if you're just an online spectator? Right? So now I actually started digging around because I'm looking into Akademiks TV, No Spin TV. I got to say the real one every now and then so people know what I'm talking about. And I see that that name came up in an investigation relating to Zachary Williams, a.k.a. Vegeta Barb, a.k.a. the Demery Docket, which is now deleted from social media. And it was deleted from social media just a day after Demery Hadley was asked about that page. I think it's a lot of motherfuckers that's going to be finding themselves in a very fucked up position in the near and not so near future, because this thing could go on forever. This thing could, they could dig around on people for as long as they'd like. So I found this paperwork here. This is a filing from an investigation firm called, what is it, CTS? Yeah, CTS. And they're filing paperwork against Zach Williams, all right? So they say, beginning in June 2025, Petitioner, a global investigative firm, became the target of a coordinated defamatory smear campaign designed to inflict serious reputational harm. The defamatory conspiracy was orchestrated by Pirtle, an individual residing in Rancho Cucamonga, California, at his own behest and or on behalf of other individuals or entities whose identities are currently under investigation. Pirtle, in turn, paid and enlisted the aid of Williams, a male escort and adult entertainer residing in Vancouver, British Columbia. Williams, individually and in concert with Pirtle, further conspired with numerous other individuals whose identities are being further investigated. Williams used his social media account at Vegeta Barb on X to publish a series of false and defamatory statements about Petitioner, including allegations that Petitioner lacked mandatory licensing, engaged in harassment for hire, and participated in illegal surveillance and abuse through unlicensed investigators. Now, of course, a lot of this is circling around the Desiree Perez, Demery Hadley situation and the methods in which she was perhaps taken into a mental facility and had her home surveilled to find out the abuse that was happening behind closed doors that she was trying to protect her daughter from. Now, if you're wondering who Pirtle is, it's this person, Nathan Allen Pirtle, who runs a company called Pirtle Reserve, which is deeply entrenched in social media marketing, investing, and things of that nature, okay? And he's allegedly based in Los Angeles. I gotta say allegedly because I don't know what's fully true or what's not. But they're basically saying that this Zachary Williams from Canada and Nathan Pirtle from LA are co-conspirators in this defamation situation, okay? The reputational damage that Pirtle and Williams have caused CTS to suffer was significantly exacerbated because the relevant defamatory statements were amplified and disseminated across numerous social media platforms, particularly by parties involved in a contemporaneous lawsuit against Petitioner in the United States District Court for the Southern District of Florida. This coordinated online defamatory conspiracy, which included the use of paid influencers and automated bots, rapidly spread the false allegations, compounding the harm to Petitioner's business and standing. Upon information and belief, Pirtle and his co-conspirators in the defamatory conspiracy communicated by phone during the critical time periods prior to and following the commencement of the publications and in furtherance of the scheme to rapidly disseminate the false statements across social media platforms. Now, notice this goes back to October of last year, but so much else has taken place since then. But this is just getting to some of the stuff that's been happening behind the scenes. So in response to Williams' defamatory statements, Petitioner brought the Canada proceeding against Williams in the Supreme Court of British Columbia seeking damages and injunctive relief. So they've sued this guy. The litigation is pending in Supreme Court, bearing the caption CTS Research Inc. versus Zachary Storm Williams, which petitioner filed on August of 2025. Petitioner has commenced the procedural process to amend its notice of claim to add Pirtle as a defendant and to assert claims against Pirtle for his role in the defamatory conspiracy. In the Canada proceeding, petitioner asserts claims for defamation, civil conspiracy, and injunctive relief arising from Williams and Pirtle's, together the Canadian defendants, coordinated campaign to damage the petitioner's reputation by publishing false and defamatory statements on social media as define the defamatory conspiracy. Okay? So here they get into Williams' participation, which we know he's participating because as of now, he was just brought up in even more paperwork. But Williams uses the account under the name Vegeta Barb. He published a series of posts that directly referenced the petitioner and made a number of serious and defamatory allegations. Descalzo declaration. These posts, which were accessible to the public at large, included false statements that the petitioner does not seem to have any mandatory licensing and provides harassment for hire. Williams further alleged that petitioner has been gladly taking money to carry out disgusting, dirty work and carrying out this abuse, and accused petitioner of engaging in illegal surveillance and relentless harassment through unlicensed investigators. As described in the Canada proceeding, the statements were false and were made in the context of a broader conspiracy and smear campaign in which Williams and other individuals acted in concert to amplify and disseminate defamatory content about the petitioner. Specifically, the defamatory conspiracy included the use of paid influencers and online bots. Okay? I'm not going to read this stuff word for word. I'm just going to kind of scale through it because there's a lot to be covered here. So then they get to Pirtle's participation, okay? Pirtle holds himself out as a digital marketing expert, especially as it relates to social media. Pirtle was hired as as part of the defamatory conspiracy to find social media personalities, including Williams. So they're saying he's the one who was brought in to find this guy and pay them to post defamatory statements regarding petitioner as part of the targeted attack on petitioner. Pirtle encouraged Williams to post the defamatory statements as part of the defamatory conspiracy and, in fact, paid Williams to post the defamatory statements and assist in the proliferation of those false and harmful statements. Williams did so knowing that the defamatory statements were false and with malicious intent to harm CTS. So they're alleging that this Zach Williams, aka Vegeta Barb, aka the Demery Docket, is not acting purely out of their interest in the case, or even their interest of necessarily Nicki Minaj because they're Vegeta Barb, but more so because they were sought out personally by this guy Nathan Pirtle. They allege. Okay? Petitioner's investigation to date has identified more than 100 participants in the defamatory conspiracy, all of whom reposted and or otherwise amplified the defamatory statements. Upon information and belief, the co-conspirators' postings were done at the direction or request of and or in concert with Pirtle and or Williams. Further participants are likely to be identified. So here we go to another document, okay? The plaintiff, CTS Research, sues the defendant, Zachary Storm Williams, for conspiring with others to launch and execute a coordinated smear campaign to harm the reputation of CTS, seemingly as well as others, by spreading false and defamatory information about them. Okay? On specific dates and at specific locations through specific communications to be further particularized before trial, Williams and other persons to be identified before trial entered into an agreement to launch and execute a coordinated smear campaign against CTS. And in this, they have actually requested records from T-Mobile and AT&T to prove these conversations took place. And those motions were approved by the judge, okay? Just to give y'all a quick briefing on this stuff that's been happening leading up to this. So now, here we get into the participants. You're going to see some familiar names in this list. It's a lot of stuff I got to read through. But if you're on social media, namely on Twitter, you will recognize some of these names. So it includes Najee Ramsey, social media handle Henny Hardaway, Anthony Brent Gray, social media handle AB Gray, Jessica Alicia Lewis, social media handle Alicia, Cheryl T. Blaze, social media handle Aoki Nagato. So I'm just gonna read the social media handles just to get through this. You have Ali Rowland, Boy Girl 88, Classy Mrs. King, Come With Facts. And we see that still going. Dame Dollar, Deanna Wallace 888, Dira the Doll, Ditto Music. Damn, not the music distributor. Wow. Livingston Allen, aka Kevin Eric Johnson. Who the fuck is him? Whoa. Social media handle DJ Akademiks / Akademiks TV. I'm sorry, I had to say it. Dom Luker. We see him every day. He's beginning to get a lot more energy behind him for his posts on social media because of their slant. Dom the Great. Dustin E. Mills. Grace. Ooh, not impressive. Whoa. Essence X33. Fender Singh. Harriet Eve 9. Hermaine M. It's That Chick. J Investor 33. JLM Noticias. Joshing. Karen Atia. Cattails TV. K-On Top. Keep Six Solid. Ooh, not Keep Six Solid. I thought I was the failed rapper. Whoa. Kempire. Whoa. Cody Books of Plenty. Lavender Rochelle. Levita Noda. Left Sent This. Lex Supertube. Lord Have Mercy. Matt Wallace. Meredith Operani. Mike Artworks. Montego Bay. Mr. One Stack. Miss KKX. Miss Sheena Bell. Miss Coco Baby. Nasiani Nicole, whatever your name is. Nicole Everything. Official Uche. Oh Shit It's 3. Pit 1623. Marquise, aka Q for Keys, who is known to be affiliated with Nicki Minaj personally. She just shouted him out literally yesterday in a new space. Okay. Queen Ajay. Real Fidi. Research Yeshua. Resi B. I've seen that name a few times as well. Damn. RG Titan 901. Rena D. Evans 78. Rose Quartz Diva. Sagittarius Nick. Samantha J. Bryan 1. Samson Crouppen 1. Shannon Barr 92 900. Cheryl's World. Shauna Atwood. I feel like I've seen that name before. Shirelli. Suvana _ Steph Trinkamp. Stop Fiendin'. I ain't gonna put your email. Sunny Sweet 33. The Amala Ekpunabi. I've seen that name before. Unique Mecha Crew. Tasha K. Westcott Laurent. Written by Ray. Okay? So these are the people that they're alleging are also in concert with this whole situation and allegedly perhaps are being paid to participate in this online conspiracy and smear campaign. Okay? Now remember, this paperwork was filed last year. And if you know some of these content creators or the pages that post online about so-called hip-hop news and updates, I'm pretty sure you're privy to the slant that they have in the content that they choose to clip and put out there. The paper trail continues into 2026. So this is a bit of an update. So now they're looking into crypto transactions that have taken place on Binance. Okay? And they're claiming that various content creators or clip pages have been paid in multiple transactions to post as part of this defamatory smear campaign, allegedly. Okay? And now they've subpoenaed Binance and their finance team to get more information about the wallets and the transactions that they've already done forensic research to find, but they need more information and they need compliance from the company, which Binance has been hesitant to comply. Okay? So here we get into these instructions. Each request shall be answered pursuant to the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, specifically Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 45. In responding to each request, you shall state which documents and things you will produce for inspection and copying. If you object to a particular request, you shall state the precise grounds upon which the objection rests. If you know the existence, past or present, of any documents or things requested below, but are unable to produce such documents or things because they are not presently in your possession, custody, or control, you shall so state and shall identify such documents or things and the person who has possession, custody, or control of the documents or things. If no documents or things are responsive to a particular request, you shall state in your response that no responsive documents or things exist. If you withhold any documents, things, or information based upon a claim of privilege or any other claim of immunity from discovery, then you shall produce a privilege log that describes the nature of the information not produced or disclosed pursuant to Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 45E2, including the following information: the document request that the purportedly privileged document is responsive to, the author of the document, the address of the author, the current custodian of the document, the date of the document, the subject matter and title of the document, the number of pages in the document, the distribution fields, including to, from, CC, BCC, and the members of any group the list serves, the name of the file or folder in which the document is or was located, and the specific grounds on which the privilege has been asserted, and if the privilege is governed by state law, the state's privilege rule being invoked. If you contend that a portion of a document contains information that is immune from discovery, then you shall produce the document with the allegedly immune portion redacted therefrom and describe the redacted portion in a privilege log pursuant to the instructions in paragraph E immediately above. Okay? So what they want for the accounts and transactions listed below, documents sufficient to show all identifying information associated with the users of the below accounts, addresses, or affiliated with the sending transaction hashes, including but not limited to full name, mailing address, residential address, email address, and phone number of the individuals or entity associated with the account. So they've already got the source account where the transactions were sent from. They also have the accounts where the transactions were sent to. They have information to believe that these accounts belong to some of these people that we just named. Therefore, they're trying to match all of this up for the investigation. Okay? Know your customer and anti-money laundering information compiled by the exchange, IP addresses, and device identifiers used to access the accounts. So here they get into the accounts associated with Binance receiving addresses listed in Exhibit A here too. Okay? And they have all this stuff logged. This is a list of transactions. I'm going to scroll past this because it has been compiled a little bit more carefully in Exhibit A. Okay? So these are wallets that have been transacted into. This is all crypto. Okay? Look at how much I'm scrolling down. These are payments. All right? Exhibit B. More payments. And this time we have the amount in USDT, which is a crypto, which is basically equivalent to the US dollar. So we've got a transaction dating back to 2024, May 20th, 2024, for $27,000. We got another one for $84,000. Just look at all the money that's being sent on a day-to-day basis. Every day, this money is being sent out, and these are in the upwards of $20, $30, $50, $60,000 at a time. Did I see an 80 in there? These are substantial payments. 90,000. 48, 40, 30, 21. Can you do something for me? 75, 59, 65. And this is all throughout 2024, starting on May 20th. Daily transactions going through. Look at this shit, man. This is why I take it very serious when people try to say, oh, you're just putting out messages. You're being paid to say this. Motherfucker paid to do what? I ain't seen a 50 ball, 20 ball, 15, 13, 12, 11. I ain't seen none of this shit, man. 89. The fuck you mean? This shit goes on from 2024 up until recent. I'm going to speed up my scroll because this shit is just, look at this shit, dog. These motherfuckers having a weird ass lifestyle funded. Allegedly. Let's see where we go next. This document here is from March 2nd of this year, granting an ex parte petition for an order pursuant to U.S. Code 28-1782. Okay, so this is a letter from the judge. This cause is before the court This cause is before the court upon the ex parte petition of CTS Research Inc. for assistance in aid of a foreign proceeding pursuant to 28 U.S.C. 1782. Therein, petitioner seeks the issuance of a records subpoena for service upon BAM Trading Services, that is Binance, or the discovery target, to obtain discovery for use in a proceeding currently pending in Canada. Caption: CTS Research vs. Zachary Storm Williams, a.k.a. Vegeta Bot, a.k.a. Demery Docket. According to petitioner, the discovery sought from the discovery target relates to the Canada action. Therefore, petitioner levies defamation and conspiracy claims premised on the social media postings of Mr. Zachary Storm Williams, a male escort and adult entertainer residing in Vancouver, British Columbia. Petitioner asserts that Mr. Williams played a key role in a coordinated defamatory smear campaign designed to inflict serious reputational harm. The defamatory conspiracy allegedly mobilized paid influencers and automated bots to spread defamatory statements concerning petitioner's conduct with respect to litigation pending in this district, resulting in reputational damage to petitioner. Now, understand, remember, yesterday we read about the Demery Hadley and all that stuff and all the different content creators that they had in that paperwork as well. One that popped up in both was come with facts. We also read a statement yesterday, a PR type statement from Come With Facts yesterday, who claims, I've never been paid to do any of this. I put my own money up to buy these documents, etc., etc. These are just my opinions. My opinion may not be popular or favorable, but I'm just speaking my mind, right? This investigation is seeking to show different. Okay? As relevant to the present matter, petitioner asserts that Mr. Williams' actions were part of a broader conspiracy involving numerous co-conspirators, many of whom petitioner believes received compensation for their involvement therein. Petitioner alleges that payments to more than 100 participants in the conspiracy were made through Binance, a crypto cryptocurrency platform with its principal place of business in Miami, Florida. Petitioner seeks discovery of documents sufficient to identify the Binance registered users whose accounts either made or received payments in connection with the defamatory scheme for use in the Canadian proceedings. Petitioner indicates accounts and transactions relevant to its discovery request in the proposed subpoena attached to the petition. Upon review of the petition and the material submitting in conjunction therewith, the court finds that the statutory requirements set forth at 28 U.S.C. 1782A have been met. This is an order from the judge. Furthermore, the additional factors to be considered in determining whether to grant the request weigh in favor of granting the request, Intel Core, whatever. However, the court has reviewed the proposed subpoena and finds it vastly exceeds the proffered basis for seeking discovery. While the petition recites the relevance of discovering the user identity information associated with specific enumerated accounts, the subpoena demands various account documents and financial transaction information. Petitioner's justification for seeking documents beyond those sufficient to identify the account users is unexplained and insufficiently tailored and to avoid unnecessarily burdening the discovery target. So some of this stuff is not going to get approved, but a lot of it is. So the petition for assistance in aid of a foreign proceeding pursuant to 28 U.S.C. 1782 is granted pursuant to the authority contained in Title 28, United States Code Section 1782A and Rule 28A of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. Petitioner is authorized to issue and serve a subpoena upon the discovery target consistent with the limitation above. Discovery target BAM Trading Services Incorporated shall comply with the subpoena as requested under the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure and the local rules of the United States District Court for the Southern District of Florida. So this was signed by the judge March 2026. So basically, with all of that being stated, it's looking like Stans are now finding themselves in the line of fire to be sued for conspiracy, especially if those large transactions can be proven that they were sent from where they believe to who they believe, or that they have connection with this whole scenario, whether it be Nathan Pirtle or Zachary Williams, aka Vegeta Barb, aka Demery Dockett. This shit finna get real tricky out here. So while we out here looking at, George, aka Grand Wizard Chat Asian, of course we know he's a small piece in the program, but we see his grief playing out in the public eye. So it's like, oh shit, what's going on? But I think it's finna get way deeper. Remember, Charlemagne said, I can't tell you where it came from or who this or that. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if this is the source necessarily that's looking into George, but we do see a source out here that's looking into a lot of motherfuckers. Okay? So I think shit is finna get especially interesting over the course of the next 6 months to a year, if not over the course of the next couple years. Because again, they have the resources to just keep poking and prodding. And of course, they're not going to get compliance with everything that they request. They're going to get pushback. They're going to have to get clearances from the judge. They're going to have to post memorandums of law as to why their requests are applicable. So all that paperwork game is going to take time. But again, it's looking like a lot of people are about to find themselves in a very compromising position. And I'll be here to report on it. Let me know what y'all think of all this down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, become an insider. And if you like the music, get the Family Over Fame album, hit the pin link, hit the pin comment, or go to the description down below, scroll past the current promotion, and go to Tune Goody and get your copy. All right? I'll catch y'all in a minute. Peace.
Over fame in this bitch, yeah. The glory of living righteous is setting in. My street knowledge and education's a perfect blend. Young mogul, independent, I've been setting trends. The first one from my family to be faithfully wed. Fuck niggas and the horses that they riding on. I see this shit from all angles like a polygon. I'm never politicking, the drama be piling on. Father and great son acknowledged like I'm Bobby Bonds. Conversation with my lady about the paper route. 5 sit bank accounts, every day I make it count. They down talking my commentary for hating now. Well, I can take it cause I'm bodying your favorite now, please. I can do this shit in my sleep. I been writing for these niggas, y'all read it and weep. I been fighting these niggas if you speak on the street. I'll turn your birthday party into New Year's Eve. Don't let me take it there. We ain't playing fair. This the ATL, Southside nigga moving furniture like Wayfair. Life on hold, no insurance for your healthcare. Lifeline gone, so you wanna be a millionaire? Well, let me tell you about this world I built. The women I dodged, the niggas that I read for filth. The sympathy cause consulting for the stacks I built. I had to evolve.